Coming. Sorry about that. I was elsewhere. Good morning, everyone. Oh, sorry about that. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. I was giving Luna some love in the bed, and all of a sudden I realized I heard the music. I'm like, shit, it's time to go sit on the chair. So here we are. Hold on just a second. Okay, now we're happy. Now we're ready. This is Coffee and Headlines, our daily get together. No, not daily, our morning get together, live here on Facebook, where we examine headlines from our city, from our state, from our country, from our world. Well, not from our world, from the world that surrounds us. Absolutely. We look at the good stuff, we look at the bad stuff. If we have bad stuff to look at, we try to find the best angle to cope with it. And the good stuff, we try to share it as much as we can. Today is Friday. Friday, where is our disco song for Friday? Right here. Boom. Enough. Today is Friday, September the 10th, which means that we have news as always. We have a new neighborhood, my neighborhood. Today we're going to talk about La Vena, and I'm going to defend my neighborhood because I love living where I live. It's very convenient and strategic, but we'll get to that in this. Gina, hi. It's great to see you. Gina Presley. I'm sorry. I don't know why I got so happy. Maybe it's because Gina Presley is watching from Paris. It's great to see you, dear friend. I hope you come back to Puerto Vallarta sometime soon. Anyhow, I will continue to look at all these beautiful comments in the second half of the broadcast. In the meantime, let me remind you, my name is Paco, if you've never been here before. And if you are new to the broadcast and would like to come out from the silent majority and would like to let us know that that you are new, all you have to do is write the word new in your comment, and that way we will give you a little welcome cheer. And also, if there's something truly important that you wish to discuss or bring up or get a reaction from, it helps a great deal if you add the letter Q at the beginning of your comment, and that way we'll make sure to mention it during the broadcast. And if not, after the broadcast, we'll make sure that we answer or comment on your comment. So, I think we're ready. I think we cue the news. And we start with Interjet, our favorite Mexican airline company that we love to talk about. What is it with Interjet? First, the founder flees the country. Then they were accused by Mexico's Profeco, or Consumer Protection Attorney's Office, for deceptive advertising. And now we learn that the president of the airline, along with two partners, have been arrested for fraud at the tune of 690 million pesos. The other two partners involved in this fiasco are Miguel Aleman Velasco, who is a prominent Mexican businessman and politician who is best known for being president of Televisa for many years, one of Mexico's TV networks, and his son, Miguel Aleman Magnani, who has been missing in action away from the country and nobody can find for some months now. So it's not like these folks cannot afford to pay their bills, one would think. As we've mentioned before, flying the friendly skies with Interjet is definitely not a good idea, even if you could actually purchase a plane ticket with them. It is very, very turbulent. Get it? That was supposed to be funny. It was funny when I thought about it, but if you don't think it's funny, I don't care. It was funny for me. Anyhow, I've been patiently watching this news item develop for months without bringing it up here at Coffee and Headlines. But there's this local dude who has been robbing Oxxos throughout Puerto Vallarta without getting caught. And now he's added over 30 Oxxos to his list of accomplishments. He's stolen either money or products from 30 different Oxxo stores, and he has not gotten caught. I finally decided to bring this up to your attention because he will get caught eventually. And when he does, I'm not entirely sure if we will condemn him or at the very least mock him a little, or maybe celebrate the fact that he was able to do what he did without getting caught. Police estimate that combining all the robberies, he has actually pocketed over 200,000 pesos, which he could easily lend to the Magnanis or the Miguel Aleman company of Interjet. Never mind. That was not even funny. I don't know why I'm bringing it up. But 200,000 pesos, that's quite a lot of money, at least for me. Moving right along, students in the municipality of Bahía de Banderas, just north of Puerto Vallarta, returned to school on September 17th, right after Mexico's Independence Day, along with the municipalities of Tepic, Jalisco, and Compostela, also in Nayarit. Just so you know, Jalisco with an X is a municipality in Nayarit, whereas Jalisco with a J is the state in which we live. Other municipalities in Nayarit are on standby as far as school is concerned due to the high number of COVID-19 cases that are still lingering in the state. Now, let's move over to Olaf. According to this headline from yesterday afternoon, it was anticipated that Olaf would become a Category 2 hurricane storm by the time it would reach Baja California. However, in looking at the windy map this morning, which I'll show you in a second, it is now listed as a tropical storm. So we are not entirely certain if Olaf converted and then lost intensity or didn't convert at all. The good thing is that it is no longer a threat to us. Let's take a quick look at the windy map to see where Olaf is. And as you can see, Olaf is now up here, and it is listed as a tropical storm again. So I'm sure that our friends in Baja California, the nice people out there, are getting pummeled by rain and all kinds of other things. And as far as we are concerned, well, there's another series of chingaderas developing down here that we will have to worry about at some point during the week. And I wanted to use the word chingadera as a segue to the fact that in our second half of the show, we are going to tackle again the word chingadera, because it's clear to me a few days ago somebody asked about the word chingadera, and that was a sign to me that we haven't explained these things in quite some time. So we are going to whip out the Chingonario, which is our Chingadera dictionary, in the second half of the broadcast. But first, let us take a look at the weather, what we can expect for this weekend, and then we will answer your questions, such as Marie's question. Is it true that there will be no big Independence Day celebration? There will be no big Independence Day celebration. There will be no small Independence Day celebration. There will be no Independence Day celebration at all. Why? Because there's COVID in the air. But we already knew that. Let us turn over to the weather. Weather says today is a perfect day to remember all the exes who are living much happier lives without you. I think it's the other way around, personally, or at least from personal experience. Actually, no, if I was to recount all my exes, well, never mind. You don't want to hear about my exes. You want to hear that today we are enjoying at present time 27 degrees Celsius, feels like 31. Humidity 100%. Ouch. Turn those air conditioners on and pay a whopper of a bill next month. Our temperature for U.S. folk and those that read and understand Fahrenheit, we are at 80 degrees. And our weather forecast for today is we're going to have a humid day. High temperature of 33, low temperature of 25. Tomorrow, Saturday, we're going to have a humid and partly cloudy day, high temperature of 33 again, and again, low temperature of 25. And Sunday, rain and humid through the day, high temperature of 32, low temperature of 23. And that, my friends, is the weather. And now I would like to turn over to this whole business of chingadera, because we haven't done this in quite some time. For those of you who are fairly new to the broadcast, there was a time in which we would broadcast every single day of the week. And on Sundays, we would have like a news-free day, and we would not talk about anything newsy or important. And one of the things that we would always do on Sundays, Sunday Fun Day, is that I would whip out my chingonario. And Chingonario is a great book in Spanish that explains the word chingar in all its permutations. As you can see, there are pages and more pages and more pages of permutations of the word chingar. So what we would do is we would just randomly open up a page, boom. Oh, that's a good one. It says, llevárselo a uno a la chingada. Well, there you go. This is a perfect example. Llevarse a uno a la chingada means what will happen to the Oxxo robber when he gets caught. They're going to send him to jail. And in this case, llevárselo a la chingada, chingada would be a synonym for jail. He's going to get busted. He's going to be put in a really, really unpleasant place to be. So if you're even, let me do a little bum. There you go. Llevarse a uno a la chingada. Here's an example. It says, ya está revisando mi mujer mi celular, ahora sí me va a llevar la chingada. Which this translates to, my wife is now checking my cell phone, now I'm going to go to la chingada, which means the guy is probably going to get caught having done something horrible. But that's not what we do or what we refer to when we are talking about chingadera. And I want to explain this because it is a fabulous word. It feels great to use it, but it is very important to know when to use it and when not. You see, there are, calm down here, Paco, calm down here. There are three basic definitions of the word chingadera, and we're going to examine all three. The first one, which is the way we use it, is that it is a replacement for an item or object if its name is not known or forgotten. So this would be the equivalent of using chingadera as saying, pass over that thingamabobby from over there, or something to that effect. If you use chingadera as you were saying, chachka, or thingy, or et cetera, it's perfectly fine if it's used with people that you're comfortable with and you know them well enough. And I'll explain that in a second. A second definition of chingadera is a despicable action. Let's say that your neighbor hates you so much, and this hasn't happened to me, but I do know somebody that had this problem. I know someone who had a friend that hated this person so much that the friend started masturbating and leaving his his ejaculation. He would take his ejaculation and go wipe it on the handle of my friend's car. That is a chingadera. That is a despicable action. That is a horrible thing to do to anyone. So chingadera can also be a despicable action. And last but not least, a chingadera is a thing of little value or quality. And here is where things get dicey. If I walk into Michael Beford's restaurants and I say, Michael, I want to try your chingaderas. I know Michael. Michael knows me. and I'm sure he would not be offended if I call them as such. If I walked into the restaurant or a store of someone that I don't know and I said with the biggest smile, "Hi, I'm here to see what kind of chingaderas you sell here," you could easily be interpreted as being as an insult. So it's the kind of thing that um, you want to be very careful with that. So what I usually do if I walk into a place, and I hope this doesn't offend some of you, if I walk into a place where I want to be funny, but I don't want to be considered as making an insult, I might say the word chingadera with an American accent, and I will stress the accent so that they know that I'm joking. And I'll say, "Oh, buenas tardes. I want to see what kind of chingaderas you sell." And if you're offended by the fact that I'm using an American accent, you should hear some of yourself talk in speak in Spanish. That's what it sounds like. So that is the bottom line. Why am I going for my lips so much? I don't know. That's the bottom line with chingadera. I say all this stuff because I know that somebody mentioned it. And of course, if you want to be immersed in chingadera related things, El Chingonario is the best book to have. And I know that somebody's going to ask me where to get it. You can find it in Amazon. But again, be prepared to buy a book in Spanish. And once you read it and you learn some of the different permutations, then I am sure you're going to make your Spanish instructor blush a little bit here and there. And that pretty much brings us to our, are we ready for neighborhood? I think we are ready for neighborhood. Today we are going to do a neighborhood profile, and our neighborhood profile for today is my neighborhood, Colonia La Vena. And as we've done in most of the neighborhoods before, we are going to, first of all, take a quick look at Supercut that I put together yesterday. I went out for a walk around the Colonia, which is not a big undertaking. I mean, Colonia La Vena, as you will see on the map, is a grid of 4x3 blocks. You would even wonder why it became a colonia when there's bigger colonias nearby and smaller ones as well. But anyhow, let me show you the supercut of my neighborhood, and then we'll talk a little bit about what there is that you can find here. Let's go. And there you have it. That is La Vena, as you noticed from the final little part of the segment. You saw a lot of traffic. This would be because La Vena is this little colonia over here, and it is flanked by Avenida Francisco Villa. This is Francisco Villa. If you continue going this way, you will be in Costco in 4 or 5 blocks. Here is the Libramiento. Here's the main avenue. And the biggest landmark is this. This is Versalles. So because La Vena is right next to Versalles, everything that we have boasted about and celebrated about Versalles is located within walking distance from La Vena. La Vena is mostly a residential neighborhood, but since it is located next to Avenida Francisco Villa, there are a large number of businesses and commerces along the main avenue, such as this fancy and modern place where you can get all kinds of light fixtures for your home. And this is on the same block as this one hardware store that specializes in screws of all sizes, of all shapes, screws, nuts, bolts. You know, it's the name of the store is the House of the Screw. Isn't that sexy? But most of the colonia is, in fact, all of the colonia is cobblestoned. As you can see, there's a lot of trees. The sidewalks are not particularly wide nor narrow, and they're not necessarily all flat and easy to navigate. And just as there are quirky stores, I call them quirky, but it's just that you can find such an eclectic variety of shops in the main avenue. Then you can also find an eclectic variety of shops inside. Like there's this one place that collects, I don't even know if they're able to sell these things. They collect headlight caps from cars. So, you know, if your vehicle has one that is cracked, you could easily walk into this colonia and shops like this one, and all of a sudden find that these people may actually have the part that your dealer cannot find for you. Now, this next photo, and I'm going through some of the photos you already saw, this is a perfect description of La Vena. There are some very humble homes where the owners just don't give a rat's ass about making them look pretty or better. And then there are some more ambitious folks that decided, well, at least I'm going to paint myself a nice color and make it look pretty. And most of the buildings in the colonia are 2 to 3 story homes, one stacked next to each other. This is not a colonia that features a lot of gardens or anything. And you will find a share of modern buildings if what you're looking for is an apartment in a modern building. I don't live in this white building, but I will let you know that the window back behind me was featured in the video. So, and this is yet another street in the neighborhood. Also, when it comes to eateries, we've mentioned a number of eateries either on Taco Tuesday or for the Versalles for Foodies map that we produced, which we haven't mentioned in a long time. But I should mention that. But we've mentioned places like La Parrilla de Villa, which is right next in the block behind mine. We've mentioned this taco place. We've mentioned the sushi place. We've mentioned the tortas. So, you know, the beautiful thing about living in Colonia La Vena is that you are so close to everything. It's not even funny. And because it is not Versalles, rents can be more affordable here, at least for a while. And that would be our presentation of Colonia La Vena. I want to let you know that next week we're going to tackle another small colonia. Whoops. Yep. Next week we tackle Colonia Díaz Ordaz, which is a tiny little colonia that is sandwiched between Plaza Caracol and Versalles. It's another tiny colonia. This is where all the medical offices are. This is where Plaza Caracol is. And because, again, it's right next to Versalles, it's a cute little colonia. In fact, a lot of people think that it is part of Versalles. So that was our neighborhood spotlight of the week. If anybody else wants to comment on La Vena, either because you know it or because you've lived here or you live here now, we welcome your comments. So now we rewind your comments just to see what you guys are thinking of. We celebrate your good mornings as always. Thank you very much. Lorraine is in Fluvial, which again, Fluvial is within walking distance to La Vena. So, and so this in Gaviotas is within walking distance from La Vena. So that's what I love about my neighborhood. I can walk a lot of places. get a lot of things done, purchase things from supermarkets or from small stores. There's a lot of food, so it is the best of it all. I don't have a view to the ocean. If living with a view is a high priority for you, there are not that many places in La Vena that would offer any kind of a view other than your beautiful street, etc., etc. What else? It's mostly a Mexican colonia, although there are some foreigners that live around here. If you get on Grinder, there's a lot of stuff to pick from. I can't believe I just said that. Oh my God, Paco, shut up. Let me look at your comments. It must be Friday. It must be Friday. Chuck Crane from Lubbock, Texas. You are not the Chuck Crane that makes shortwave radios. If you are, or electrical appliances. If you are, I would be quite humbled to meet you. But I am happy to meet you, Chuck Crane, whichever Chuck Crane you happen to be. Welcome to Coffee and Headlines. Let's see what else we have. Oh, another up and coming a local. Thank you very much for that, Shield Shieldman. Now that's a fun name. My name is Shield Shieldman. I love it. Well, I'm glad that you enjoy Coffee and Headlines. If you are indeed moving to Puerto Vallarta, I hope that this is a place where you will be able to find answers to important questions that matter to locals, not so much tourists. Let's see. I saw this comment pop up when I mentioned that I was playing with Lumina in the bedroom. Chris, I have to level with you. There's been so little cuddling with anything else other than my kitty cat in the house. It's not even funny. I like the Disco Friday song. Matthew, you sent me a long message about your account during the earthquake in Mexico City that I've read, and I haven't acknowledged it yet, but I did read it. I am so very happy that you're okay. Mikhail is my next door neighbor. Yes, absolutely. Mikhail lives 2 blocks that way, and she is in Versalles. So again, she's part of my cluster, and it's great to have you near. And I can't wait for you and Barry to come back to Puerto Vallarta. Let's see what else we have. Cheryl Politis from Lake Chapala loves the Friday neighborhood tours. I'm glad that you're enjoying them. I'm not entirely sure why we do them, but you enjoy them, and that's what matters. That's what matters the most. Let's see. CEO Interjet leaving on a jet plane. We love puns. We love puns at Coffee and Headlines. Thank you for that, Dave. Thank you for that. And I also saw, I'm sorry, some of these comments don't have cues, but they are so funny. Paulie wants to date the guy that is robbing the Oxxos. I think that's really funny. Let's see. We already answered that question. Let's see. Tongo is in Guadalajara. A wonderful musician, friend of mine. Great to see you. Pat says, thank you for making chingadera a part of my vocabulary. And I laugh every time you guys use the word tomala now. It's funny. It's just too funny. Let's see what else we have. Lynn asks, is that the garbage or water whistle I hear? If you heard a whistle this morning, it's usually the water whistle. We get garbage collection at night after 8 o'clock. So you heard the water whistle. And I keep thinking I want to go downstairs and record the guy because it's not the whistle that is funny. It's the way he says water. He says, awa. And I just think it's silly and funny the way he says it. Can you use chingadera if you forget the name for a moment? Well, hello. I have the memory of a pothead. So I use chingadera all the time. But again, it is important if you forget the name of something that you use it sparingly or that you use it with people that you know and trust. Because if you go and say, use the word with a person you don't know, it's kind of like walking into somebody's shop and saying, so what kind of shit do you sell? You know, some people may not like that. But if it's somebody that you know and trust? Yes. Um, Hector, it's great to see you. I'm glad that you are new. Welcome to Coffee and Headlines. YouTubers, because I have the chance to monetize my videos on YouTube, I've started allowing for YouTube to introduce ads in my videos. I don't know if I'm going to make a lot of money or a little bit of money because I've never monetized videos on YouTube. But as I said to my friends, if I can afford an extra taco by the end of the year, I'll be happy. In the meantime, Hector, welcome to the live edition. Here we can talk amongst yourselves and ask questions and get silly, and it's great to have you. Let's see what else. Oh, and you get all these welcomes from other people, which is groovy. Um, that's what some of you sound like with your Spanish. Well, you do. Uh, Parents will often say this. Are you still going on with your chingaderas? Absolutely. Tin tan tan tan. What else do we have? Michael loves um, my neighborhood because Tony's Tortas are like 1 block away. And yes, there's a lot of cute little shops where you can get knickknacks and whatnot. There's another Tony's fan. This is great. Let's see what else we have. Then, when we roll through, and I know that then means that literally because Den's wife Kathy is on a wheelchair, people in La Vena are always so friendly and helpful. That's good to hear. Suzanne asks, do you know the name of the headlight store? I need two taillights. I don't, Suzanne, but it's here in the neighborhood. If you want to send me a private message, I can give you the exact location. But again, if you're walking La Vena, it's just 4 by 3 blocks. I'm sure it wouldn't take you long to explore it and find it. Let's see what else. Question: do the colonias have a political representation at City Hall? There are, yes and no. There is a presence because all colonias have a neighborhood association, and there's always a presidente de la colonia or somebody that represents the colonia. And this person is usually elected by the residents of the neighborhood, and this person has some influence in City Hall as walking in and saying, as president of my colonia, I want this and that to happen, which does not necessarily mean that it happens, but that is the kind of representation that the colonias have. Above and beyond that, presidents of colonias don't get any kind of more formal presence at City Hall, at least as I understand it. Let's see what else. You guys reacted to my grinder comment. Yeah, well, grinder. Some people love to grind. What can I tell you? How many subscribers do you have on YouTube? Well, we celebrated 1,000 subscribers on YouTube several months ago, which is the point at which you can apply for monetization. And I never applied. I think YouTube is now close to like 1,400 subscribers, which is, yay, it's a good thing. Again, here at Coffee and Headlines, we're not looking for humongous numbers like other bloggers or influencers are looking for. We've always considered ourselves a niche project because we are very focused in our attention to the wants, likes, dislikes, and needs of Puerto Vallarta English-speaking locals, which is a very, very small fragment when compared to all other or many other influencers out there that just want just thousands, if not millions, of followers. Not the case here. Good question, although it doesn't have a queue. How long does it take walking from La Vena to the ocean? Marie, it takes less than 20 minutes. And we did one such walk. One time, I walked from my home here in La Vena all the way down to the ocean. In fact, can I show it to you? No, but let me hold on. I'm going to improvise very quickly because I would rather answer this question visually with a Google Maps. No, not that. Maps. Don't take me there. Maps.google.com. There we go. So let me take a look at that. And Let's see, where are we? Ah, here we are. Okay. So, oh, stop it. Come back. Nope, not so close. Okay. There you go. So here is, we're in this general vicinity, and the closest walk to the ocean would be to go this way, and this takes about 10 minutes tops. We did a recorded walk in which we went all the way down Vienna and came up this way, and then we crossed over and ended up at the beach over here, and that took about 20 to 25 minutes. So it really is not that much, and that's another thing that I like. Now, these are not fabulous beaches like Los Muertos. The amenities are different, but you can get to the beach fairly quickly. Um, let's see what else we have. Thank you. I love how you say my name. I hope I say it correctly. That's the important thing. Um, let's see what else. Oh, Meggie as in Peggy. Polish is my first language. I would love to hear your sneeze. And I mean that. Or just like say something in Polish. That's fabulous. Let's see what else we have. Okay, this doesn't have a Q, but this looks like a good, important thing. So after 3 days of buying expensive water for Los Tules location, I called to see why we did not have water, says Michael about his Siam Cuisine restaurant. Seapal reports that water is on over the city, so they say. So I went back with a ladder in hand, walking to see what the issue was. After climbing up the roof, I found out that the floater was stuck. So rule of thumb, check to make sure that your floater in your water tank is working properly. That's a hard but important lesson. I'm glad that you are back to being with water, and that gives me a reason to think about walking over to Siam Cuisine and getting myself some yummy Thai food. I finally delivered my photos to Michael. I had been forgetful in doing that. Shame on me. So as soon as Michael gives me a go ahead, I can show you some of the sexy photos that I took of Siam Cuisine's dishes that you can enjoy whenever you visit the restaurant. And I think we are at the end of today's broadcast. Um, thank you as always for joining me here at Coffee and Headlines, joining me and Luna, or Luna and I. Luna is away in the bedroom as always. But again, thank you for being a part of the community. And thank you for your questions, your comments, your suggestions. Thank you for staying kind. Thank you for staying optimistic through these really crazy times that we're living. And thank you for using important words like chingadera sparingly to save yourselves. And I hope to see you tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, I'll see you sometime next week or whenever you feel like coming back. We're here just about every day. Have a great day.